I'm going to go over some things about CPU versus CPU mode and common comments about it. CPU versus CPU is a unique mode, and I don't understand why a lot of fighting games don't have them. For example, Capcom don't have CPU versus CPU mode in Street Fighter V, but the game has been out as they've been updating it for 6 years. Now people try to say, oh, the CPU are dumb. So, that doesn't mean it shouldn't be in the game. There are some fighting games that have CPU versus CPU mode, and the AI itself isn't good. Oh wow. I know if you play on PC, you're not worried about it, because there's probably a mod. The problem is that sometimes there's none for the fighting games you want them to be in, and some people don't have a PC. That's why it should have been in the base game. The most common comment I'm always seeing whenever someone brings up CPU versus CPU mode: why watch the AI fights when you can watch tournament videos and streams? This right here gets on my nerves, and I would write so much about it in the replies. For one, there are people who don't have internet, and CPU versus CPU mode doesn't need it. Two, you're already up to date with the videos, and your favorite streamer is not streaming or have stopped it streaming completely. Three, why can't I watch CPU versus CPU too? Am I not allowed to enjoy the AI battle it out just because you don't like it? This is what I don't understand with the ones who don't like it and go out of their way to shut people down who do like it. Like, why do you care that other people enjoy CPU versus CPU mode? It has nothing to do with you. Literally nothing. You act as if someone that enjoys CPU versus CPU mode is hurting you, so you make it personal. How am I hurting you for liking a mode? Why are you so upset because I like bots fighting each other? I really want to know why you hate someone for liking CPU versus CPU mode, because I don't understand it. Next thing, some people say CPU versus CPU mode takes up development time. Well, nobody really asks how long does it take to make that mode in a fighting game. I think it takes less than a week, to be honest, because the whole concept is to replace player 1 with the CPU, so there's nothing else to work on. I've seen fighting games with a low budget that has CPU versus CPU mode. You know, if someone can add a CPU versus CPU mod to the game, then I'm sure they can officially add the mode to the game too. I really don't think it takes years to add CPU versus CPU, nor should it take up much time in comparison to adding characters and stages. That is why I think they can add the mode and still be able to work on other things. The last things I'm going to go over is people counting AI Battle Simulator from Injustice 2 and MK11 and spectator mode and DOA 5 and DOA 6 as CPU versus CPU mode. To me, AI Battle Simulator doesn't count because there are people who like to set up AI tournaments, and you can't do that with AI Battle Simulator. You're not able to pick your own matches. I remember AI Battle Simulator from Injustice 2, which is the same with MK11, is that you're just setting up the attributes to max counter and max combo. Nothing else matters. Everybody AI teams are always the same characters anyways, like Injustice 2 with Batman and Black Adam, and MK11 with Scorpion and Noob. AI Battle Simulator is good in its own way, but it's not the same as CPU versus CPU mode, where you're just setting up your own battles and not have to worry about attributes. Now, with DOA 5 and DOA 6 spectator mode, you just watch them fight against each other forever. I don't know why Team Ninja or KT didn't just add an option to have a normal CPU versus CPU mode. The last thing I want to go over, and it's with this comment I see the most. Why do you like CPU versus CPU? I can't speak for everyone, but I think we do have similar opinions. I like to see which characters are better. I like to see random crazy funny stuff that they do. I like watching CPU tournaments too. I like the fact I can just watch it any time that I want to whenever the internet goes out, and I like to have it play in the background while I'm doing something else. I'm sure there are more reasons, but that's all I can think of for now. I just like setting up a random match and for it to go into the next random match, like what you see in this video. But that's all I have to say for now.